Today I'm watching and breaking down the cinematic language of Yidhari character demo from Zenless Zone 0. Make sure to check out my full ZZZ playlist. Alright, let's check it out.
Late night at the terminal. A train arrives bringing uninvited guests.
Cool, like storytelling.
Soon after, the passenger named Disaster arrives.
Disaster.
Hold on.
That's so cool.
I guess the story's moving a bit too fast.
No way. Man, what a great visual representation
Let's
of
try a
writing.
different opening.
Brainstorming.
Midnight. Fog silently
That's a
creeps.
fantastic opening, man. Yeah, I really like how they set the scene and they introduce the character and Medios Race in the middle of the scene. And it looks like you're in the middle of the, chaos in the beginning, like a disaster.
Disaster arrives.
But then we focus on the character. You hear the narration and then you realize it's actually her just thinking. Super clever. I like that. And then she's like Ursula from Little Mermaid. She's got
I guess the story's moving a bit too fast.
octopus. But I love that. I really like the sound design and it's just so fun. Like really how it feels like when you're imagining and you're writing and you're kind of deleting stuff like that and going back, and then it's just like kind of, that idea kind of evaporates in your brain, or at least gets cataloged away. And I think that they did a great job of showing that. Fun character intro.
Midnight. Fog silently
And the kind of
creeps
theater of
into
the
station.
mind, It's powerful.
Ghosts from the past emerge.
Now this is fun because musically,
Reality and fiction intertwine.
we're hearing a different theme here. It's fantastic, and it feels like Resident Evil or something all of a sudden. And this is because of lighting and sound. Wow. It's a really cool fighting style, man. I really like how she kind of uses her entire weight as she strikes. That was fantastic.
Powerless to escape.
Alright, let's see what she does here before we analyze it.
All that's left to do is flip through the same story. Time and time again.
Wow, it's all the different possibilities that she's imagined. Hand-drawn animation mixed in there. We're mixing mediums again here. It's fantastic. Oh, this reminds me of Vinland Saga, for those who know. And is this like... wow. The water, is it from her Warhammer? Oh, wow, that's dark. Oh! Oh,
Come with me.
man, look at the detail in her
Accepted
eyes.
that I would sink into the abyss
It's
and
amazing.
become another shadow waiting for the next train. But those radiant eyes cut through the crowd, granting me a new beginning.
Oh, was she able to publish? Hold on. And now she's in a cafe. Maybe a better place to write than the train station. A little less disturbances. Man, I really like the details in the eyes and the hair.
Oh, I really hope they'll like this story.
So it seems like maybe she's a writer and she's like worried about kind of publishing and everything. I want to see, there's one detail. She's talking about being caught in a web, but then she's talking about writing and stuff. Let's analyze what happened here a little bit more, because how much of this is in her head? Well, let's see. We're in this kind of Resident Evil section now. I really like this. The shot selection's cool. But yeah, we gotta analyze this shot. So look how she smashes. We go frame by frame. ZZZ does this thing sometimes, yep, where they'll actually freeze the frame of the character in the animation as if it's like a keyframe in an anime. So yeah, she's not moving right now. So she actually has less frames per second than the frames per second of the video. See? She's stuck in that hit, which I think is so fun. Then it's like, boom, she snaps back into the animation in like the proper frame rate. And then she spins around here. And look how they use the tentacles. That was really smart to kind of showcase the velocity of the tentacles and kind of the momentum of it. And then similarly here, she kind of loads up and she pauses there. She pauses, she's loading it up to show the weight of the hammer. And then boom. Yeah, fantastic.
Fate decided the finale.
Yeah, this is the lines. Fate decided the finale long ago.
I am caught in its web, powerless to escape.
So what a cool idea. She is someone who feels trapped in her fate.
Same story. Time and time again.
So she's going to use writing as escapism and just to kind of daydream of the possibility that she won't be stuck in this fate over and over again. And then this hand-drawn anime is fantastic. It reminds me of Vinland Saga. It's fantastic, man. Kind of like Ragnarok scene that we get in Vinland, which is probably an homage to. And then this idea of kind of sinking into that fate, but then she has someone help her. I think these are characters that I don't know, so feel free to fill me in, Lore Masters here.
Come with me.
Oh wait, is that?
I'd accepted that I would sink into the abyss.
That's the main
and become
character of
another
ZZZ.
shadow waiting for the next train.
I think.
But those radiant eyes cut through the crowd, granting me a new beginning.
Now this is cool because I actually played a little ZZZ, and this is, and I say actually just a couple minutes. This is like that street, right, where you run around as the main character, unless I'm totally wrong here. But I think that's really fun. She's kind of.
Oh, I really hope they'll like this story.
And then it's kind of like a double meaning, as she's saying, okay, I hope they'll like the story that I've chosen, like my path in my life, but also this writing that I'm doing. But it's super cool. And I like stuff like this where you'll see a character who's like kind of, you know, in a grand story and there's a lot of crazy fighting going on, stuff like that. It's really cool to ground these characters and have them like, oh, why wouldn't they be into writing, right, in this world? And I think that's something a lot of storytellers can kind of learn from, is giving characters like her a, you know, a little bit more human qualities. Like, yeah, let's have them, you know, have hobbies like all of us and not just be, you know, on this crazy adventure. Self-directed, starring myself. And there it is, you know, her kind of, her own fate, which is what we all live by, right? We're all stuck in our own
Let's try a different
existence. But if I had to pick a favorite shot, as is tradition, you guys tell me yours. I really like some of these where we kind of showcase the theater of the mind that's happening here. That, but this one here, I think is going to be my favorite, where she like backspaces.
Hold on.
Because look at this.
I guess the story's moving a bit too fast.
Yeah, when they start deleting like that, I was like, that's such a fun idea, man. And to have that kind of sound design showcase what it's like to brainstorm, I thought that was really cool. And then this one was nice too. The kind of different possibilities. That's a cool.
Time and time again.
It's a cool idea. Like the different ways you can attack an enemy, so to speak. You know, branching. Also really like this one. Yeah, that was cool to see the hand-drawn stuff. You know, they seem to be mixing in more and more hand-drawn animation recently. Now it's good to see it. I'm glad to see it. Yeah, that was really cool. And the water rushes up if we go frame by frame here. That's a beautiful image. Like she's kind of buried under it all and all the weight. I don't know if that's like the characters that she's backspaced and deleted, but it's really cool. And then this one, I mean, yeah, there's not a ton of fighting in it. So I'm curious to see what more of her fighting style is, but that's really crazy that she's this enormous Warhammer thing.
Long ago, I am caught in its web.
It's pretty awesome.
Powerless to.
It's a very brief but epic fight section here. I think it's funny that she's kind of like, oh, I'm just a girl who likes to write in the cafe, and then like wields this massive Warhammer and crushes this like monster in the subway. So that's pretty fun, but less distractions. No massive monsters attack you in the cafe for now. So it's a nice place to write. But anyways, I thought this was really cool. This was a bit of a shorter one, but it was really nice to break down. I think it's a really cool concept, and they nailed it as far as I'm concerned. This character didn't learn too much about her kind of interactions with other characters besides this one moment right here. So I am curious what that's going to mean in the game. I'd like to see her in more stuff. And I wanted to comment on the visual style here. Look at the eyes, man. They're getting better at stuff. Like, this looks hand drawn, man. This is fantastically done. Like, if you saw this freeze frame, especially a couple of years ago, you might be like, yeah, that's just an anime cell. Well, I guess they wouldn't be cells anymore. The frame from anime nowadays, right? So they're really getting good at kind of depicting that art style, which has started as far back as like the kind of cell shaded era of the PlayStation 2, where you had this kind of renaissance of, oh, let's try and depict, you know, manga and anime characters like in a cell shaded way to kind of achieve that. But I think this is very well done. I think she's a pretty interesting character, and I'd love to hear more about this too. Like, did she publish something? I'm not sure what's going on here exactly, but it's pretty cool. So anyways, make sure to subscribe. I'd love to hear your favorite shot. If you want to see more, watch my whole ZZZ playlist. If you want to get more, of course, other Hoyoverse stuff, Genshin and the other games I've covered extensively. And I hope you guys have a good day. Thank you so much for joining me.